Well, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Joanne. I am the learner lawyer or law student from Melbourne. I'm currently procrastinating through my exams at the moment. So, well, in fact, it's my exam time and I'm procrastinating. And I thought, well, I'll say hello to everybody because I haven't been on for a while. I feel like I've been absent and so much has gone on since I've not been around. There's been lots of things happening in Australia. The world's gotten more and more crazy. But I'm still here. So last week was my birthday, so that was good and enjoyable. So I've got an exam tomorrow, an exam on Friday, and then I start a 12. Well, I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm just going to take a break from study for a while because I'm just a little bit fried. The doctor's just concerned, has now said that is a little bit concerned about high blood pressure. So I've got to just, hello, Suzanne. Be concerned about my blood pressure. So I thought, well, why not? And I'm sorry, my computer is just, I'm hoping it's not doing too badly. So I wanted to thank you, everybody. Yeah, that was last week. That was really, it's very interesting having an exam on my birthday. Hopefully, in a minute, this will all sort itself out. Okay, so I haven't been on for a while, but I know that there was a court hearing and so I thought I would show you, we'd go through the documentations. So there was an order filed. Okay. So there's 3 documents on here. So it said that there was that an order was filed. Now, what I'm finding very interesting is that this has gone to Graham Martin. Now, if you look at the actual file, she's got 3 lawyers on record. But because the last time that her lawyer said, the lady said she wasn't ready for discovery because she'd been away and, nobody could actually, nobody was able to do that job. But yet here we've got Graham Martin on file. So if he's on file, why didn't he pick up the slack? I have lots of questions. I mean, apparently I asked too many questions, so I get myself into too much trouble apparently. So all the time. So I don't know. So my first question is why, if he's not got anything to do with it, why is his signature on there? And this is just my this is just gone crazy on me. So essentially the other documentation sort of says, if I can get it to load, is that the other documentation says that here's the proposed winding. I should have got myself a little bit more sorted out, and I apologize for that. This is all just doing my head in at the moment. So there is a hearing date on the 15th of November, and it looks like it's an in-person hearing date. November, and it's a motion hearing. Okay. At 10 o'clock. Again, look, it's gone to Graham Martin. He's the one that's been notified of the hearing, not the other woman. So why is the question. But but she's still on carriage. She's still on the file as carriage. So she still has carriage of the file. So these are all the questions that I have. All right, so this is now the this is now here. This says the above titled matter came before the Honourable Carrie Willis on the 3rd of October for an off-the-record phone conference. It was off the record. Off the record. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? So what was said in that conference, they're not bound by as such. So who knows what was said in that? But it was a phone conference. So the matter is scheduled for a live hearing on the 15th of November, 2023 at 10 a.m. to address any outstanding discovery disputes between parties and the rescheduling of the dates in the scheduling order entered on the 13th of July in 2022. The parties shall submit written submissions by October 30 at 4 p.m. outlining any ongoing discovery disputes. And a letter shall be acceptable. The dates provided in the scheduling order continue to be suspended by agreement of the parties. So when KJ says that they haven't met discovery deadline or whatever, all of those dates in that scheduling order at the moment are suspended until this motion hearing. It's all suspended. So none of those dates count. The next important date that they have to worry about is that one, and the court will address all the outstanding issues with discovery. So she will make an order on that day as to whether or not she's going to hear that whether or not those documents have to be released. Okay. Now, let's just talk about something else that's really interesting. So one of the Discord people showed, it was very disturbing for me, showed a way that you can actually view a page anonymously. And I'm sure that this is how she gets a lot of her stuff. She uses a site like this. Now, this says that there has been 70 posts. 70 here. So it says, calculated on the last 12 posts, the average likes received 631. The average of the comments received is 70. About 0.1% of followers of Without a Crystal Ball likes the contents, and about 0.001 write a comment for each post. All right. And then you can see all the people that she's tagged in it. So you can actually see who's got tagged. All right. So that's from the last 12 posts, but there's been 70 new posts here. Then we can autoplay the posts. They actually break down the posts. Now, and the other thing is, because we know she's the queen of delete, the opportunity is that you can download it. So she's obviously done a Ask Me Anything. And so this one says, why is this all over the place? First, you are pro-Christine. Now she's a liar. I'm confused. One more thing. I despised greatly the mere suggestion that my opinion on any single person, entity, or topic that I cover must stay the same. Would you really want me to overlook abuse happening in the family because it offends you? That the mum was part of the abusive system? You all do realize that all of these women contributed to the abuse and exploitation of their kids. They've left Cody, but haven't left the show. Why? Simple money. That's a big... That's a very big statement to make. They could be still in the show because there's a contract. Has she actually wondered? Look, I'm not defending anything or any. I'm just trying to put a different perspective on it. The only reason I would do a show that I wouldn't want to do is if I signed a contract and I was contracted to it. So they actually get along, and TLC decides when they are going to argue and what about. She says, no, they don't force relationships. The wives that left obviously left. And no, they don't all get along. I think they get along for the show. When they aren't filming, they aren't interacting much. I thought that's been obvious for years, since they always say they hardly see each other. Do you think Christine and Janelle's friendship is real or for the show? Why are they asking her? Like, it's not as if the only way she'd know all this is if she was his new wife. I don't believe they are friends. I don't as close as they claim. Cody is not lying. Them do not like each other for years and years. Janelle is very level-headed and an introvert. Christine is extremely extroverted and a total alpha female. She also loves attention and wants things her way, which is why they call Christine a princess. Which one of these would you say is the most liberal? Truthfully, you'd be shocked. But Mary's probably the most woke and most unconditionally supportive of the LGBTQ kids. Gwendolyn is close with Mary because she's not judged by her and is fully accepted. Why are there no Bates Duggar weddings? I thought they would have been for sure. I don't care about Duggars or Bates weddings at this time. I don't report on anything that doesn't relate to the cult or abuse within the cult. I refuse to promote or engage in Duggar propaganda. My dear, all you do is engage in Duggar propaganda. I mean, who was it that would report so-and-so wore pants? Well, that's all you do, propaganda. Remember this one? Can we stop talking about sister wives and get back to Duggar news, please? There isn't much to report. Jill's book is out. The Duggar siblings are posting erratically to distract, and mindless fans are falling for it. Unless there is something to report about the cult or abuse, I do not engage in propaganda. So, ask me a question about the Brown family. Is Kitty a conspiracy theory of Cody, I think? He is, and most of his sons are too, including Hunter, who believes in medical conspiracies despite being a nurse. So then she's got here, she shared a people thing. She said Cody is 100% a womanizer and posed as a polygamist. He may believed in the faith, but he converted because he wanted a harem. Really? I thought he grew up in the faith. Robin Brown actually scoped out Cody and moved to Utah with plans to try and join his family. Why? Because she heard he was going to be on reality TV and wanted to be famous. She also has a severe shopping addiction that nearly left her ex-husband bankrupt after their divorce. And Cody spoiled her with gifts and childcare. She didn't want to have to parent her kids. I've never spoken to a single person from the AUB that likes Robin Brown. They say she's manipulative, opportunistic, vindictive, and narcissistic. Well, I mean, I could say I've never spoken to anyone about anyone that knows Katie Joy that doesn't say she's all the same. But anyway, Mary Brown was forced to divorce Cody at Cody's direction. He wanted to marry Robin, and the longer he was to marry, the more rights she would have to his money under law. He forced the divorce in the storyline of Mary offering the divorce as a gift. When she told them about the divorce, that was all fake for the show. Mary's catfishing storyline was completely overblown on the show. It wasn't even an issue with the family. Apparently, I mean, how does she know? Ask me a question. No, just happy that you put the real in reality TV. It isn't real. The trauma is. And she says, correct. I'm new to the show. Why does everyone dislike Robin so much? Mary, I like her. I don't have enough characters for this question. Watch the show and you'll figure it out, I promise. Is it true that Cody stopped being with Mary before Robin came into the family? Yep, Mary was nearly ready to divorce Cody right before Robin joined the family. She encouraged the courtship, hoping it would improve their relationship, but never recovered. It would shock me if Logan and his wife are Republican Trump supporters. I'd be surprised if they went Republican. Why on earth is she making all these things here? Then she's answering how Mary paid for the mortgage. I mean, seriously? About ladies, he was not attracted to Christine. He said that he's just attracted to Janelle. Really? And so thank you for sharing the info you have compiled. It's thorough and professional. Really? It's actually all scripted like a regular TV show, not really reality. Scenes are staged, words said are real, but going into every scene, the cast knows what the topic is for the conversation so that they can prepare. This season, Janelle and Christine are being the most honest about the situation. Mary is being more honest, and Cody and Robin are still lying. Why? How do they get away with the fake plot staging? Laws should require disclosure for entertainment purposes only. Is it true Cody and Christine are first cousins? Christine and Preston are first cousins. She's cousins want to move with Robin's kids. But this is just crazy. Now that 3 wives are gone, will Cody be bankrupt? He will be bankrupt as soon as the show's over. She's talking about a TikTok account stealing her stuff. She's now also talking about legal stuff. And then the LeBaron family, of course, she's an expert on that. Is it true Cody dated a woman named Amherst Smith? No, the TikTok account is stealing content of mine, illegally posting. They are also the source of the fake claim that Cody has a girlfriend. Well, how can they? Hang on a minute. If they're stealing her content and yet faking these fake claims, then they're not stealing your content unless you've said it. Yeah. So here is all of this. So then she's got here Cody's Brown occupation listed on a donation to a Republican committee. Apparently his occupation is a Hollywood elite. Jules details a lot of the contract obligations with TLC, payment issues. She also shares how they feel. This book is a good behind-the-scenes peek if you want more details. What's the bet that she's used what Jill said and now based it all on what the Browns have said? And then she says here, Logan Brown's wife, Michelle, sent me a DM and said that they are definitely not Republicans. And then she said, Gwendolyn Brown says she missed the wedding because she was too busy with her organic chemistry course and new mobile home. And then she's saying, do you think or not? Whether you believe her or not, the wedding was filmed. Her not attending may be a plot twist for the episode, making her unable to reveal the real reason she missed the event. Just remember, the network can sue them for $500,000 for leaking spoilers. Just remember that. You know, she wants everybody to know that. So it's really weird. It's really weird stuff. Is she really, I mean, I've got to ask, is she really, I mean, she has to be that desperate, to be honest with you, to be carrying on like that, because surely no person in their right mind would be doing that, would be sharing that information, really? Anyway, I'm back. Yeah, so anyway, I'd be interested in your thoughts about all of this because, yeah. So anyway, so this is insanity. Yeah, so you can save the videos, you can save the pictures. So it works on phone, but yeah, it just makes it so that you're not really registering a view on their device. But yeah, 70. So if I refresh this. And then so that story, I mean, that's just stories alone. Now we've got posts. There's a section called posts. So now we get to the posts. So we got posts here. And then you've got, gee, they're long, aren't they? So she had 70 stories. Oh, she's now got 66. And then highlights. So you can grab them all. She's got no highlights. Oh dear. My husband hasn't said anything online at all. Meanwhile, Janelle Evans' husband yelling in comments about aliens and TMZs are lying. Really? So you can just see here, and then bought my son my favorite shoes ever, and cried when they arrived. So she bought her son her favorite pair of shoes. Okay, what's his favorite pair of shoes? I don't know. It's all really bizarre. So then we've got here. So yeah, so all the posts. There's just so much posts. Silence is golden, she says. But yeah. So and again, so we go back to the stories, and this is where we are. There's more being added, and you can autoplay these too. So it just looks like it's stories. So it's just weird. I just find the whole thing weird. So yeah, knock yourself out with that site, because I think it's going to be a good one, and we can all keep an eye on it now without having to literally give a review or subscribe. And for those that like to download everything, you can download everything. So I probably need to address the elephant in the room, and I don't know whether it's made your as to what happened on the weekend in Australia. There was a referendum in Australia it's very complicated, and depending on what side you're on, as to what side you believe. So they wanted to make an amendment to the Constitution that would give recognition to the First Nations people in the Constitution via an advisory board. I'll see if I can find the question, because it's very confusing. And it was voted no. So it says a proposed law to alter the Constitution to recognise the First Peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. Do you approve of proposed alteration? Now, there was a lot of stuff there was a lot of confusion, because a lot of people did say, while they were happy to support constitutional recognition, they didn't believe that an advisory group would be appropriate in the Constitution. So you had one side that was saying it was needed, and the other side that was saying, so this was going to be the amendment, that there shall be a body called the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice, that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice may make representatives to the Parliament and the Executive Government of the Commonwealth on matters relating to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. The Parliament shall, subject to this Constitution, have the power to make laws with respect to matters relating to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice, including its composition, function, and procedures. So so that is what it was. It was going to include a new chapter in the Constitution. Now, very few referendums have succeeded in Australia. 14 out of 14, I think, out of 37 have been successful. So there haven't been very many successful. Most of them have failed. Sorry, eight have been successful. 8 have been successful. There's been 45 referendums. 8 have been successful. So some would say it was thwarted to start. It was, doomed from the start. It's bizarre. Anyway, it caused a lot of division in Australia. We had First Nations people on either side of the argument. There was lots of names calling, and it really, the last 12 months has been very ugly in our country, sadly. And it was on the weekend, it was defeated. The referendum did not succeed. There was a lot of confusion, and a lot of people have said they didn't understand. It's a tough one. So, as I said, there was a lot of people saying that they agreed to having constitutional recognition. What they objected to was a special body being represented, having access to Parliament. So this is the map of who voted yes and who voted no. All right. Remote polling results show residents want to be heard. So a lot of the remote areas did actually have resounding results for positivity. They're now saying that the remote communities favour the yes. That's what they're saying, that the remote communities. And that was the thing. I did not really hear much about the remote communities throughout this. Now, and no campaigner calls for designated Indigenous seats in Parliament. He calls for a designated Aboriginal seats in Parliament, as happens in New Zealand. They have an Indigenous minister. So there's also state treaties. There's supposed to be a week long of silence. That they're going to do a week long of silence. Yeah, it's very, as I said, it's and I think South Australia's got a state voice, so now a South Australian MP is going to try and repeal that. WA repealed theirs. So it's all over the place at the moment. All over the place, because it's been very divisive and very upsetting to everybody. And I don't know the way forward, to be clear. What I do know, and the concern that I had, the concern that I had was, how were we going to, what steps was being taken to help the most marginalised? And from my perspective, it would seem like it was a talk fest, and I'm not very big on talk fests. I like a little less conversation, a little more action. I want to see what practical steps are. We know what a lot of the issues are. We know that there's higher incarceration rates. We know that they are more likely to they have a lower life expectancy. We know that they have medical issues. My question is, what are the practical steps to address these? And that was the issue that I had. And everyone said, well, that will come about from the voice. But for me, it would seem that it was a bit of a talk fest. So that's that. The other thing I just saw the flash up on my screen, was that the Australian Broadcasting Corporation has just had to pay out, has just lost a defamation case. Let's have a look at this. He's just won $390,000. So this has just come out. Former Commando Heston Russell awarded $390,000 in damages in ABC defamation case after the judge rejected the broadcaster's public interest defence. The retired Special Forces Major sued the ABC and two of its investigative journalists in the federal court over stories that reported allegations from an ex-US Marine named Josh. Josh made accusations against unidentified soldiers in an unarmed Afghan prison. Was executed in 2012 because there wasn't room in a helicopter. Mr. Russell commanded the platoon and the November at the time, and sued based on the 2021 publications being read with an earlier reporting about the allegations from Josh, who said he heard a pop over the radio but was not an eyewitness. Justice Michael Leeds had already ruled 10 defamatory imputations were conveyed by the story. Today, the judge rejected the public interest defence. It says an ABC journalist is confirming more details on this unfolding story. They'll publish an update shortly once they've been able to gather and check the details. So this is happening for real. So, and this is published by the ABC. So one of their own highly respected journalists, has lost a defamation case. So you know what? It happens to the best of them, by the way. So even investigative, highly credible investigative journalists can get it wrong at times. So he's been awarded $390,000 in compensation. Now, I'm probably going to leave it there. I need to get back to my study, but I really want to thank you all for joining me. So from next week, I have my study aspect will go, but my teaching is still around. I've got to still earn a living. Hopefully, I'll be able to put more content up, and we will see how we go. But look, I'm looking forward to spending more time with you over the next few weeks. And Australia's in for a little bit of a rocky road at the moment. Hopefully, we can find a way to get through this and come together as one united country. And so it will be interesting to see how the government now works through this. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.